Question 10. I'll just read the question through for you totally. It's worth 7 marks, so quite a big question. You can use these rules to change temperature from degrees C, that's Celsius, to degrees F, which is Fahrenheit. Approximate rule, multiply the degrees C temperature by 2 and then add 30. So I'm just going to write that as times by 2 plus 30. And then the exact rule, multiply temperature by 1.8 and then add 32. Amy, I don't care who it is, use the approximate rule to change 20 degrees centigrade to degrees Fahrenheit. Dan uses the exact rule, again, don't mind who it is, to change 20 degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. Part A, work out difference between Amy's result and Dan's result. And then part B, you get Jade use the approximate rule to change the temperature from degrees C to degrees F. The result is 110 degrees F. What degrees C temperature did Jade change to degrees F Fahrenheit? So I'll do the part A first of all. So let's look at Amy. Now she uses the approximate rule. So her rule is we're changing 20 degrees. I'll just put a circle around that. Okay. So it says multiply the degrees C by 2 and then add 30. Well, 20 times 2 is 40 plus 30 gives me an approximate one of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Dan uses the exact rule. So we have 20 multiplied by 1.8 add 32 equals. Now the 20 multiplied by 1.8 can be solved in a couple of ways. The actual answer is 36. So if I have 36 plus 32, I get 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I want to now look at how I got 36. I'm going to use the grid method first of all. So method 1. So I will draw a grid. I'll put the 20 here and I'm going to split the 1.8. I'm actually going to deal with it as 18 to begin with. So I'm going to have that as a 10 and 8. Multiply that together. So I have the 20 times by the 10 gives me 200. I have the 20 times by the 8 gives me 160. If I add those two together, I get 360. So the answer to 20 times by 18 is 360. So the answer to 20 times 1.8 is 36, which is what I had up there. Okay, so to actually finish answering the question, we have Amy has 70, Dan has 68. The difference is 2 degrees Fahrenheit. For the multiplication, I did the grid method. I'm now going to just show you another method, which I'm just going to pop down here, which I've seen called the Chinese method, and I really like this. So draw a grid, and you put the 20 like that, the multiplication sign, and then I'm going to put the 1.8 there. I'm just going to finish the grid off there, and some lines there going here. You need to just put a little line diagonally up there. And then what you do, whenever you do multiplication, so if I look with the 2 and the 1, 2 times 1 we know is 2, so I have no tens and 2 units. 2 times 8 we know is 16, so I have 1 10 and 6 units. The other one for 0 obviously is 0 and 0. What you do then is you add down the diagonals, so I add down that way. So for this one, there's 0. Here I have 0, 0 and 6. Here I have 0, 2 and 1, and 2 and 1 is 3. And then up here I have 0. So I now have the digits 0, 3, 6, 0 around the outside. We now just need to put the decimal point in its place. 20 could be written as 20.0, so I'll just put a red point there, and I've already got the decimal point for 1.8 there. What you do is you follow the lines down, and then where they meet, you draw a line down like that, and you get decimal point there. So I actually end up with the answer of 36.0, which obviously is 36, which is what we had previously. I do like that method, but you've got a choice of methods. You might also realise that you know that 10 times 1.8 is 18, so 20 times 1.8 is 36. So there's more than one way to find out the answer to 20 times 1.8. Okay, moving on to the part B. Jade uses the approximate rule to change the temperature from degrees C to degrees F. The result is 110 degrees F. What degrees C temperature did Jade change to degree F? In all this question, I'm not interested in the name of the person, I'm interested in the mathematics and the information given to me. So we're using the approximate rule so that I know, therefore, that I've got a degrees C a temperature in degrees C, which I have to multiply by 2, I add on 30, and my answer is 110. Now if you look at this here, I've got 2 times something plus 30 equals 110, so degrees C times 2 must be 80, which means that actually the temperature has to be 40, because I need to half here and half that, which would give me 40. So how are the marks allocated? It's 7 marks, as we said before, so we need to look at them. Now the first mark is actually given for finding the 70, so the mark is actually given for 2 times 20 plus the 30 and calculating the answer of 70. Another mark is also given for finding 68, and you just get the method mark for 20 times 1.8 plus 32. So it's really substituting the values into the formula given. You then get another mark for actually doing 70 take away 68. Now it doesn't matter if you've got the 70 or the 68 wrong. As long as you've got one of them right, you still get a 1 mark for that calculation there, but you only get 1 mark if you've got the correct answer only there. So that's how the 4 marks for that are created. For the 3 marks below, you have 1 mark for writing something like this. So something times 2 plus 30 equals 110 gives you 1 mark. You've then got another mark for getting the 80 and then divide by 2, which I did in one step. So you could have 80 divided by 2, and that'd be given by your answer there. So there's 1 mark for that. And then again, there's 1 mark here, which is correct answer only. So that's how the 7 marks are made up on that.